Hello, tankers and tankettes. It's, whoa, Déjà vu. AMX 5100 on steps. Haven't we been here before? Well, we have, kind of, in a viewer spotlight. This is actually one of my own battles, and clearly I was paying attention because it goes actually rather well. I don't think I do quite as well, but yeah, I seem to have picked up one or two things at least. I maybe have more of a feel for how to play this now, but yeah, I would still say on the whole, I fairly suck at auto-loaders. It's going to take more than one battle to, change that. So we're on, as I said, steps, and it doesn't look too promising to begin with. The team kind of, it's not even really a lemming train, they kind of spread along the south, and yeah, there's one poor lone IS-3 that gets stuck defending the corner, the southeast corner, or southwest even, wow. Yeah, there's another thing I fail at apparently. Directions. So, yeah, there's that poor guy there, there's a T25-2, and I'm desperately not wanting to go that way because I don't have the armour to take on other tier 8 heavies head on. Even though it's, even though I'm top tier, I'd much rather sit here and snipe, which doesn't sound like something you should be doing in a heavy tank, but the AMX 5100, in some situations you kind of need to do that. However, I realised, yes, this wasn't going to work, so after emptying this clip, which, I managed to get some reasonable sniper shots out of it, and do some damage. I pick up maybe 1k damage there, just about. I sort of reluctantly head back because if this team's going to be a failure, I at least, I want to know that I've done my best to actually prevent that from happening. And happily, it doesn't. It ends up being, as I said, a pretty decent match. So we know already there's a couple of tier 8 heavies, and there's traces back there for a lot more on the minimap, so I'm fully expecting there to be, half a dozen tanks rolling down that flank, and actually it's only 3 heavies that make the push. And they're still outnumbering us in terms of, well, they're outnumbering the IS-3 in terms of firepower. And there is actually a T-29 that pops up behind them as well. So I've been lucky. I've got this guy tracked. He's with full clip I could kill him. Unfortunately, one shot misses, and the last shot in this clip here just dings. So he gets away, but I've taken a lot of his health, so I'm reasonably satisfied with that. Unfortunately, now I've got to wait for like nearly 50 seconds while I'm reloading. And meanwhile, the IS-3 is still outnumbered. They don't actually push on him that hard, though. I think they could have beaten him quite easily, and then I would have been in a lot of trouble. Because even though, the burst damage is pretty good, that's what the French autoloaders are all about, is the burst damage. I still can't hold back 2 enemy IS-3s. I just literally would not be able to put enough damage into them before I had to reload. Once you're in that reload time, you're just dead. And here we have a little gift from the heavens, an AT-15 who just goes full YOLO and decides to plough straight at that IS-3 without giving any consideration to what might be shooting at his sides, namely me. And oh wow, it was so considerate. I thought, it's always nice when an enemy just drives across your field of vision like that, giving you their weak side armor, especially when they're otherwise a frontally very heavily armored enemy. So very considerate. That was a pretty lucky shot, to be honest. I wasn't expecting that one to go in as I made it, and it did, so it was like a little extra bit of bonus damage. So we're still looking a bit ropey, but now there's 1 or 2 more tanks. The super Pershing has come over. I've actually put some damage into these guys. The rest of the team is now finally moving towards the cap. And there's a lot of the enemy team that we haven't, that we've spotted at various points, but I think the enemy team were actually doing something fairly similar. A lot of their heavies were maybe sitting back, and the push on this side was, it could have been a lot more dangerous than it was, but it was maybe not that coordinated. Don't ask me why that Super Pershing just drove towards them slowly in the open, and not that you can do anything else in a Super Pershing but drive slowly, but he was, they were just able to hit him and kill him, so that was a bit of a waste. Here's one more that's easy. The tier 7 heavy, so I can easily take him with one clip. Nom 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 nom, that damage. And yeah, I'm kind of surprised. It's that same trade-off. It's hit points for damage, and I've lost half of mine, but I've done a pretty respectable amount of damage so far. And I think if your enemy team is so obliging as this one was, it can work out quite well. I'm at this point, yeah. I know the T29. Oh, no, low health enemy. Oh, that's what we like. This T29 from the middle, if he'd been with the rest, he might have been more problematic, but he's now basically isolated. The IS-3, unfortunately, having survived against the odds so long and done a mighty good job, died. I don't know if that was just a lucky shot, or, well, it didn't even necessarily need to be a lucky shot, because it wasn't like he was facing the T29 head on, and it's not like the IS-3's pike nose has amazing armour. It's the pike that makes it bouncy, it's not the actual armour value itself, because 110 is not great. So you can paint that with a T29, there's nothing special required there. So here we go, I'm just, again, waiting for the reload. And I just decide to rush him and make a clean job of it, because if I play peekaboo, that is going to go badly for me. I actually have to come quite far forward and try and get round it, because I don't have the gun elevation from where I was. The French autoloaders, as has been noted many times, have terrible gun depression, but they have terrible gun elevation as well. I had to... I didn't want to take that hit, but I kind of had to in order to finish him off. And now we've won, pretty much. It's one lone comet. I'm kind of hoping, as very occasionally happens, that the team will go, oh, it's one lone enemy, we'll just take them. But no, even though it wasn't a tank that was exactly a threat, it's only a comet, they still stayed in the cap. I can't complain too much, we won, and I did pretty well. It ended up only being my first class tanker game. I was sort of hoping it would be ace mastery with that damage, but maybe the requirements were just quite high this week, because I know it well, for those that don't know, it basically rolls over on a weekly basis, and there are certain times of the week when it's easier to get the ace tanker badge than others. On the whole, I'm feeling, I feel like I have improved my gameplay, and see, this is why I like you guys sending me replays, because I get to see how to play these things properly. And I think I've picked up some from that, and obviously playing it with Circon on the stream has helped, because it's an opportunity to play it. We play the high tiers fairly often, and it's an opportunity to play it in a platoon. And if you're platooning up with a non-auto loader, that can be especially useful. But as there, I was on my own. There was no platooning involved, and I still managed to do okay. So I'm slowly picking this up, and I think I'll probably be overall a better tanker for it in the end. So, as always, you can like the video if you enjoyed it. You can subscribe to my channel. I have a Facebook page you can like, and I have basically latest news and things there. I should also mention, I've not mentioned at all some of the images that I do at the end of each video. I put a selection of those up on my Facebook page, full size, so you can download them for wallpapers or whatever. So there's another reason to follow my Facebook page. You can grab those. And of course, as always, stay tuned for more.